Sometimes life moves faster than you expect and often in ways you never saw coming. Less than a year after moving to Seattle, I'm apartment hunting again, this time because my boyfriend and I decided to take the next step and find a place together. What I didn't expect was how challenging the search would be in ways I'd never experienced before, but in the end, it was all worth it to find our next home. As we make our way to the first apartment showing, here's a quick look at our housing criteria. We have a budget of $2,400 and we're looking for at least a 1-bedroom because we've both outgrown living in teeny tiny studios. My boyfriend has cool hobbies that involve bikes and gear, so he's also looking for a garage. And because I'm a city girl, I preferred a location where I didn't have to drive and could still make use of public transit. We began our search in Kirkland, which is located right outside of Seattle. Even though it's outside of the city, this location was walking distance from Kirkland's main transit hub with a ton of bus options. Our first impression of this apartment was that while it was clean and had nice amenities, it felt a bit too bland, and this space felt smaller than expected. Also, is it just me, or is this bathroom giving Holiday Inn motel vibes? Something that's on my nice to have list is hardwood floors, since I'm not the biggest fan of carpet, especially when it comes to rentals because I can never seem to trust how clean it really is. I liked how spacious and open this living room was and how it led to our own private balcony, which is something I've never had before. Since there's a balcony, I also appreciated how quiet and safe this apartment location was. How would you rate this place out of 10 based on first impressions?
6.
Okay. Yeah, I'm about the same, like 5 or 6. Our main cons about this place were the lack of a garage, since we were a bit misled by the listing, the small size, and not having in-unit laundry. Also, if you've been watching my vlogs for a while, you know I love to cook, so I didn't like how closed off and cramped this galley kitchen felt. And it had odd retrofitted details such as this main light switch located right behind the oven. And with every apartment tour, I highly recommend opening up all the cupboards, dishwasher, oven, and checking underneath the sink because what you will find will be very telling of how clean and maintained a place is. Oh, this doesn't even open all the way.
Nice. I love that, dude.
So it's like, oh, you're either going to damage, which is already happening, damage the fridge or the wall.
Also, I don't know if you noticed the dishwasher doesn't, like, it hangs up on the wood.
Oh, really?
So you have to, like, push it in.
We then made our way to another apartment complex located just 10 minutes away. It was cool that this place had both a fireplace and a balcony. I was also relieved to see that this place had either vinyl or hardwood floors, and I appreciated how spacious the bathroom was. I mean, just look at all that counter space. The bedroom was a good size as well, but had the hideous beige carpet I'm starting to notice is common among Seattle apartments. It really stood out to me how dark the space was, even though there were windows in every room with the same weather conditions as the previous viewing. Honestly, this place oddly had a really similar layout as the previous apartment, despite being in different neighborhoods under different management. So that meant we had the same gripes about the layout and size. But unlike the previous place, we did appreciate the in-unit washer and dryer. All the appliances were also super clean and fully functioning. After viewing the first 2 apartments, I soon realized that transportation options would need to be well researched, especially if you're going to live outside of the city. While both places felt very quiet and safe, one of them was so far out that my boyfriend would have had to add so much more time to his commute. And with the second apartment, I would have really only had one bus line to use. Also, we didn't love that the first place didn't even come with a garage since that's part of our criteria. And the second place had garage options, but you had to pay an additional rate for a garage. Ultimately, we both weren't really impressed by any of the units we saw, so we decided to keep looking. After getting a good night's rest, we were looking forward to the next apartment, mainly because we loved how bright and open the space looked from the listing photos. This unit had a number of massive windows which let in so much light that day. A place just makes such an impression when it's this bright. This apartment also had a balcony area, and I liked how there were trees surrounding the yard for some extra privacy. And it was so nice to see a kitchen like this after all those galley kitchens from the day before. I really love open spaces, especially when a kitchen opens up to the main living area. And again, we loved that there was an in-unit washer and dryer, and it looked like there was even some extra storage space in this laundry room. This place actually had 2 bedrooms, and both were good sizes with lots of closet space and light pouring in. But when we started to check on things more closely, we soon ran into red flag after red flag. This was an interesting one, and it's a great reminder to always view apartments in person, because even though we didn't really get catfished, the reality didn't meet the expectations of the listing. And it's kind of a shame because we felt that place truly had the bones to be a beautiful space had it just been cleaned and properly maintained. I also wished I had filmed the street outside because that was a big factor in us not even considering to apply. There were just a lot of people hanging outside in their cars, blasting really loud music and smoking pot. And while people totally have a right to be hanging out in their cars, on the streets, or in their front yards, enjoying their time and doing their thing, we also didn't want to have to deal with excessively loud noises or the drug use while we're trying to enjoy our own home. After the first few tours, we saw one apartment that completely shifted how we looked at everything else because our minds kept going back to it. That apartment was apartment number 4, and I'm not going to share any footage from it because there was actually someone still living there at the time, so I want to respect their personal space and privacy. We liked the amount of space for the price since it was well within our budget. We love the amount of natural light it got, as well as the mix of original and modern finishings. We were a little on the fence after finding abysmal reviews of the management, since having a good management can be such an important factor in your living experience while renting. We were cautiously optimistic for this place after seeing it in person, but we also knew it was going to be really competitive to get. So we decided to continue on with our search. This wasn't a neighborhood I had ever been interested in living in, but the size of the space for that price was really intriguing. This was yet another galley kitchen layout, but we liked that this had a little dining nook as well. Even though this was one of the oldest buildings we'd seen so far, everything was super clean and in great condition. This unit definitely kept a lot of its original mid-century details, especially in the kitchen. I actually really loved all the mid-century design details I kept discovering as I moved along in this apartment. I personally kind of like the vintage tub and colors in the bathroom, but my boyfriend hated it. And moving on, this was the smaller of the 2 bedrooms, but still a great size. And a walk down this long hallway leads you to the master bedroom. I was so surprised when I saw how bright the space was in person. I'm not even exaggerating, but this room alone is bigger than many studio apartments in the city. Back down the hallway, there are a few more closets, which is great for more storage options. And then we move on to the living room. Again, I loved how many mid-century builds have really large and low-set windows, so this let in a ton of light as well. There was also even more storage available in the basement. I already know that between the 2 of us, we do not have enough possessions to fill up all the storage options that this place offers. But I guess that's a good problem to have. And here is the washer and dryer to be shared by all tenants, and keeping in line with the unit, this garage space was absolutely massive as well. You can see how far back it goes. I've been touring and renting apartments for the past 15 years of my life, and never have I been oddly indifferent about a place before. Like you saw, I always start off my searches knowing very well what I want and what my red flags and deal breakers are. But I don't know if it's because we hadn't seen too many viable options by this point that we were starting to feel a little desperate and flexible. This place had no deal breakers, and I felt weird about the things that I ended up disliking, which were mainly the carpet and the neighborhood. I think this was also the first place we saw where my boyfriend and I disliked it for different reasons, although we were on the same page on how we felt about it. It's hard when a place does check all of your boxes, but yet you feel like it's not quite a place you want to live in, especially since we were feeling the pressure by now. I actually held on to the application for weeks, kind of always holding it as like a last resort backup option, but ultimately we never ended up applying for this place. A few days later, we ventured back to the east side, this time to Redmond to view a basement unit. We loved that it was spacious, clean, and newly renovated. However, I just kept going back and forth on whether I could truly deal with the lack of natural light. And I know this sounds super shallow, but I personally didn't love the aesthetic of this unit either, and felt like it would take a lot of creative effort to make this place feel like a home for me. And there were just a few random parts of the place that were boarded up with duct tape that just seemed a little too DIY and gave me concerns for maintenance. So at this point in our search, we had started to book tours for places we had saved for a while that weren't necessarily at the top of our list. For me, it was having fewer public transportation options and the fact that it was a basement unit that made this place less of a priority. Again, I felt oddly indifferent about this place, and I was kind of thrown off by all the DIY maintenance and repairs because that gave me concern for things like flooding and rodents if that kind of thing wasn't handled properly from the very beginning. And the garage was nice, but it was also a shared space with the other tenant, which isn't the most ideal situation. So after viewing a few places outside the city that just weren't a good fit for us, we decided to start looking more in Seattle. Our next apartment viewing was located in West Seattle, a neighborhood I'd actually yet to visit since my move here. I had heard good things about the quiet and relative safety of that area, since it's also a bit isolated from the rest of the city, so I was really open to the idea of living here. Plus, it still offered various bus lines that could take you to almost anywhere in the city. At one point or another, I knew there was a good chance we were going to get catfished in our apartment search. And it just happens to be this one. I'm going to include the corresponding listing photos so you can see what the expectations were. Starting off with the bedroom, we have a dingy room with boarded up windows that definitely made me question the security of the space. I also thought it was strange that there were random furnishings that were included with the place, such as this dresser and AC unit. Like, either have the place furnished or completely unfurnished. I do not want to spend extra time or energy getting rid of items before I even move in. The bathroom was seemingly okay at first until I caught a glance at the bathtub and couldn't unsee the filth. Then we make our way to the kitchen, which was honestly the only room that looked anything like the photos. We were not the only ones disappointed by this place. There was another person touring with us who spent a grand total of 30 seconds here before running out. And here we have the living room, again with unnecessary leftover furniture that no one wants and being much smaller in real life. And here was the garage, complete with 2 large piles of literal trash on both sides. We felt like this whole tour was just a colossal waste of our time. I do not understand how you don't clean a place before showing it to prospective renters, since that's just like a sign of unprofessionalism and bad management. Other red flags that I so desperately wished I caught on camera included the huge mouse trap that we saw in the basement next to the laundry, as well as a drug paraphernalia from the upstairs tenant that was just sitting out on the porch. This was by far the worst tour experience we had yet, and it really fed into the pressure that we were feeling by this point, since we felt like we weren't really seeing anything that felt like a viable option for us. After we got home from this disaster, we then spent hours scrolling for new listings in an attempt to book a tour for the very next day, since we were starting to get desperate. We decided to take a chance and head back to West Seattle the very next day to view one more place. At this point, we were just hoping the apartment would at least be clean and look like the photos online. Upon entering, you walk through a short entryway which leads to this living room area. There were absolutely no design details or personality to the interior, but it's okay to have a blank canvas for home decor sometimes. We were so relieved to find out this place was super clean and had ample natural light in all rooms. Across from the living room is the first bedroom, which was super tiny and faced the street. It could work as a bedroom in a pinch, but was probably better suited as an office. Next to the bedroom was the kitchen. I appreciated how open this layout was and that the appliances were also on the newer side. It's so clean. It's very clean, especially in the kitchen. Like even under the sink, it's like, have you seen it? It's spotless. Look at that.
It is clean. I do like that. I was getting, yeah. Anyway,
How's the fridge?
Looks good.
Okay.
Yeah.
Bathroom was also a good size. I liked the amount of counter space, but didn't like how they didn't have any under the sink storage. And here is the master bedroom with nice corner windows and a decent amount of closet space. The shared laundry was located in the basement, and it was great that these were also free to use. Compared to our previous experience, it was such a relief to see this West Seattle unit. And I don't know if it's the context of that situation or what, but we ended up applying for this place, getting approved, and then after thinking about it for a day, we decided not to move forward with it anymore. Ultimately, it's because we felt indifferent about the neighborhood, and my boyfriend couldn't stand how loud it was because it was situated on a main street. This was the first time that we have felt differently about a place. While I would have also preferred a quieter location, after spending 15 years living in New York City, my ears have been accustomed to all kinds of street noise, so that did not faze me one bit. I jumped on applying for this place out of sheer desperation, and because I thought it could at least work as a backup option in the worst case scenario. But after thinking it through, I ultimately didn't want to move forward with anything that my partner wasn't comfortable with, so we decided to continue our search. After deciding we would prioritize safety and quiet, we started looking in neighborhoods like Magnolia. I usually hate carpet, but was relieved to hear that these were newly installed. After our experience, we had a newfound appreciation for super clean and newly renovated units. The garage connects you directly to the living area since this is a basement unit. It was nice that it came with a built-in Tesla charger, even though neither one of us has an electric car. There was even this odd corner that looked like a solitary confinement torture chamber of sorts, but I actually thought it would be perfect for storing the products I shoot. It was actually marketed as a wine cellar. The fireplace was real and in working condition, which would be so perfect for cozy winter nights. I think what I was most excited about was this kitchen. This one had the newest, best quality appliances I'd seen yet, complete with a gas stove and all that stainless steel. While I could see myself cooking many meals here, I was apprehensive about the layout and the lack of proper ventilation for the stove. Next to the entrance was the bathroom. It had nice furnishings, but I found the layout to be odd and cramped with the washer and dryer placed in there as well. This apartment was so nice and I would have applied for it in a heartbeat if only it wasn't a basement unit and we felt that it was priced a little too high for what we were getting. I still kind of felt I would need a car in this neighborhood even though it was located in the city. But because it was at the top of our budget, I was starting to feel even more stressed about buying a car and dealing with all the expenses that come with car ownership on top of paying top of budget for rent. So in the end, we felt like given those financial constraints, it wasn't a good fit for us. Good morning. I'm currently eating a really quick breakfast because I need to head out soon to go to what I hope is my final apartment viewing. And what a journey it has been. You know, deciding what your home is going to be for at least the next year is a big decision and it's not to be taken lightly. So hopefully this one goes well. This apartment was located on a nice, quiet residential street. The living room was a good size, and overall, I liked how this unit had a mix of original details and newer finishings, especially in the kitchen. But I soon discovered that once you start looking closer, the apartment wasn't very clean. Red flags are usually found in the kitchen or bathroom, so I like to take my time inspecting these rooms, but I was rushing by this point since I felt like everyone had finished touring the entire place by now. This was also probably the only two-bedroom unit we saw where the bedrooms were really similar in size. And finally, moving on to the garage. The garage also led to the laundry area. I didn't love this since it would mean walking out of the unit, onto the street, and through the garage just to do laundry, and that would not be fun in the rain. And it was a bit unclear if they were going to finish updating this garage in time for the move-in. I actually found this place while waiting for the previous tour to start and was really excited about this one. It definitely checked all of our boxes and we would have applied for this unit, except we found out we got approved for apartment number 4. We loved apartment number 4 more than this place, and we just couldn't stop thinking about it after we toured it. Because as soon as we walked in, we could just picture ourselves living there with our routines would be like, and all the new memories we would be making. We actually applied to it pretty early on, but kept touring other places while we waited to hear back on our application. I had never felt so rushed and stressed before while filling out an application, not even compared to my New York days. And when we checked in a few days later, we were so disappointed to find out that we were second in line. Seattle has a law that the unit must be given to the first approved applicant, so all applications essentially just become a race. And hearing that we were second in line, we basically felt like we just didn't get the place, so we kept moving forward with our search in the meantime. So we were massively surprised a few days later to hear that the unit was now ours. I have no idea what happened to that first applicant, but I am so relieved that this search is now over, and I'm so excited to move in and start this new chapter with my partner. There's lots of fun moving and apartment makeover content coming up, so make sure you subscribe so you don't miss any of that. As always, thank you so much for being here with me on this journey, and I'll see you soon in the next one. Bye!